Hey guys, it's Jeff, watching Ready channel, YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and if you can, donate to my Patreon account. That helps me to get better equipment and whatnot to get information out to you. You can donate as little as $1. Okay, so that'll be in the description box below the video where the arrow key is. Okay, and let's get talking about the stress that our country is in. As I told you yesterday, I would get back to you and talk to you about why so many people are leaving New York and California. They're moving out. They're going to places like Colorado, Minnesota, and Texas. Okay? Why? The big answer is why. Well, I found out it's for economic reasons. People are moving by the thousands, not hundreds, thousands from each one of these states because they're under so much financial stress. It's too expensive to live there. Millionaires have moved out of New York. I heard over 100 millionaires moved out of New York because it's too expensive. It's too fast of a paced life. It's overrated. Okay, they want to go spread themselves out into rural areas, country homes, and such to lead more peaceful lives. Okay, I watched a video where a guy said he has to drive a half hour through his countryside to get to work or go to a Tim Hortons. And he said he loved it. I agree, I'd love it. I mean, I'm in the country too myself. I'm about 8 minutes from town, which is great. It's far enough away that if something would happen, I could catch it and maybe get the information off of my television, my radio, or Facebook to know when it's time to get out. Hopefully, when the time does come, I would rather actually bug in because it's already shelter, okay? I want to tell you to do the same thing. I mean, yes, you may have to lock your windows, your doors, and such. Maybe reinforce them somehow. But bugging in is the better option because it's where all your stuff is. Until it gets too bad to where you have to bug out. Okay? If you go out into the woods where you may possibly have to go at an end resort, you got to build shelter, you got to find food, blah 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 blah. Well, if you stay in your house and you bug in, you have everything you need. Okay, so bug in first. Anyway, these millionaires and everything from New York and California are, and just regular residents that aren't millionaires. Maybe they're at the bottom of the totem pole or in the middle of the totem pole as far as their yearly salaries and their lifestyles, so they could lead better lives. How devastating is that going to be to these big states that have so many people leave their state that's no longer supporting that state with their tax dollars? They move to other states. That's going to put some stress. California is already hurting really bad, you know. And I got to throw Chicago in there too. Chicago, thousands of people are leaving out of there. and mostly that's because of gangs and all that kind of stuff, you know. So you know what goes on with that and how gangs operate. I live in a small town, so I don't have to worry about gangs really. I mean, they're small little kid gangs that really don't amount to much. Okay, so we're pretty good. It's these big cities that are drawing all the attention and drawing all the gangs, all the drugs, and stuff like that. It's just like if I had a store, okay, I wouldn't put it in a very small neighborhood or in the middle of the countryside. I'd put it in the middle of a highly populated area. So these drug dealers and whatnot congregate to these places with more people so they can have more resources. That's what people do. Anyway, the country is so stressed right now financially. It's like taking a vehicle that can only hold 2,000-3,000 pounds, but you put all this weight into it and it begins to, you know, squat the vehicle, right? So until that stress is removed, it's hard to go down the road, isn't it? But in this nation, it has such a heavy load with everything that's going on that weight hasn't been taken off. It's constantly being more stuff added to it that's making the springs on the United States vehicle suppress more and more and more. Well, it's about at its end. So it's like your economy, you're waiting to see how much more stress it can take before it completely busts and breaks down, right? That's where we're at right now. Seriously, this is where we're at. And I want you to get a clue that, you know, this is happening and you need to be aware of it. You know, you look at store closings, businesses going out, and joblessness. Huge numbers. Huge numbers. I know Trump would like to say we're only at 4% or a little above percent with people that are unemployed, which is complete BS. Alright? Not true. The same with Wall Street. I talked about this in another video. They want to portray that the economy is booming, things are rolling, and we're on the road to recovery, things are looking so good. They have to feed you this to keep you feeding the giant, all right? The giant is the government, all right? Wall Street is a problem. They have trillions of dollars floating around in Wall Street that are being exchanged for bonds, stocks, and whatever, commodities. So their pull has to be to tell you that everything's good and everything's fine, and you keep sending your money there, and the next thing you know, it explodes right along with your money and everything is gone. Now, if you're not in the stock market, but you're in the banking, you know, all your money's in the bank, you go there one day, and let's say you got $10,000 in the bank, or less, you know, regardless what's in there, it's fundamentally got to be there for your well-being in your future and you surviving, right? Right. So if Wall Street breaks, your money's going with it and you're not getting it back. Same with people that are in retirement. If you're in retirement and your money's in the bank, it's going to be taken and you're not getting it back. They did it with the 401ks back in '08. People want to forget '08. I wasn't that bad. It wasn't really that bad, but people were preparing. Fox News was saying things like, get guns and ammo, food, blah, 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 because they was thinking the bottom was going to fall out then. Obama had filled the gap with printed money through the Internal Revenue Services. Okay? And they bumped the debt ceiling up. Okay? Filled it with money. But the money was backed by nothing. Okay? Printed dollars and nothing backing it up. No gold. Okay? So this has been going on for another 10 years. And it's ready to explode once more. Back in '08, that was the housing market that exploded. This time, it's going to be the credit market exploding. Okay? You got this big wide gap in the middle of money and gold and jobs that is empty because the credit market. 50 years of everything being bought and sold with credit. It's on paper. And it's only as good as the paper it's written on, which is, nothing. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is if you do have money in the bank, if it's in there for bills, get that money put out to bills, okay? If you got money in there that you just have just sitting there, get it out of there. Okay? Because if you got, let's say again, $10,000 in the bank, and you go in there and you try to get your money out, they say we can't give that to you. And you're like, why? Well, we just don't handle that amount of cash here at this bank. The money that the banks have that you set in the bank that is sitting in there just gaining interest or whatever, they use that money on Wall Street. Okay? Just like in the housing market, the first thing to go was the banks. Lesson learned, right? Hopefully lessons learned. The credit crisis is going to be the same, and the banks are going to fail to be able to follow through with their responsibilities to you. Okay? Let's get this down, get this right, and get this in your mind that it's happening. We live in a small town here, but there's bigger cities that it's going to be a lot worse because they are bigger cities, okay? And I believe when they do fall, there won't be no government bailouts. Won't be no retirement. And they say that, when this happens, cash money itself will only be worth something for like a couple weeks because there will be no faith in it, which is proof. If you look at Russia and China, they do not want the American dollar in their economies no more. They want to dump it. So how did they dump it? They joined together and they dumped it into buying gold. Federal notes that are worth nothing, they dumped it into buying gold. Very smart. Very, very good move. Like I said, all this information's out there. I'm just bringing it to you, putting it in your face. So if you want, go investigate it yourself. Okay? So before you question anything that I'm telling you, investigate it for yourself. Matter of fact, that's probably what I would do. But anyway, I want you guys to be safe. You know, I'm here getting the news out, getting the information out. I thank you for listening. Watching ready. This is Jeff signing off. Have a good day.